Hi, my name is Grant McFetridge, and I'm the Research Director for the Institute for the Study of Peak States. And I'm here to share some of the excitement I have with what we're doing. We're a worldwide research and development organization that started over 20 years ago, originally investigating why some people had exceptional states of consciousness and other people didn't. We were hopefully trying to find techniques that would give that experience to other people. In the course of that, we figured out the connection between trauma, subcellular biology, and prenatal developmental events, to our surprise. And what we found also was that our work in peak states applied to other disease conditions, many of them previously considered incurable. Now we're moving out of pure research and into more training for therapists in our methods and techniques. In the next few minutes, you're going to have the opportunity to meet some of the trainees in one of our first level courses in Scotland in 2007.
I'm a trauma therapist currently living in Ireland, though I was born in the United States. And I've been doing trauma work on people since officially 1998.
I work as a therapist, primarily as a shamanic healer. I'm a teacher, but I also do other therapies like shiatsu and EFT.
For over 20 years I've been working with people in the field of trauma healing, and hearing about this as a new model of trauma healing, I wanted to try it out.
I've been a massage therapist for almost 20 years, and my business for almost 20 years now. And in those 20 years it started out as massage therapy, but then along the way it's like, well, this just makes someone feel better. But I want to start actually helping people solve problems. And so went further and further into body work, and some weird and wonderful things started happening. But in most of the therapies and the healing therapies, you make people feel better and you get somewhere, but there's very rarely an issue is completely solved. Very, very rarely. And I was just like, oh, I'm missing something. There's more. There's got to be more.
I think Grant's way of understanding trauma and the relationship of trauma to peak states is really revolutionary and really, really interesting.
I think one of the amazing things about this work is how thoroughly it heals trauma. I think there are many therapies that do a tremendous amount of good, and this is one of the few therapies that I've seen that actually gets to the core and really heals and transforms people's lives.
Grant is teaching that peak states are a natural possibility for people, and that what blocks that is trauma. And I've basically heard that being taught from a lot of different perspectives, and this is the first perspective that actually teaches a way of healing the trauma and then moving through the trauma into alternative peak states of consciousness.
In the work that I already know and that I can do, there's at least an order of magnitude improvement in being able to heal traumas. The other part that stands out is that there's access to healing traumas that I didn't even know existed.
One of the things that Grant has identified is that there's a way of quietening your mind so that you actually have a silent mind. Most of us aren't even aware of the constant chatter in our minds, and he's actually achieved a way of doing that so that it feels like you're walking around in meditation. It's a really beautiful experience and very peaceful.
I've done various kinds of trauma healing in my professional career and personal life, and I find this very effective and also really fascinating because it moves into areas that other models of healing really don't.
It's going to revolutionize psychotherapy. It brings a scientific model and organization that until now was not available at all, and as a result many of the things we've been doing in psychology, even in trauma work, are often helpful, but at the same time, many of them have been damaging because we didn't know what we were doing.
There are very few organized methods of healing that actually move back beyond this particular life, that move back into prenatal traumas. And one of the basic beliefs and understanding in this model is that most of the traumas that have tremendous effect on our development in our bodies in this life happen prenatally. And the ability to come to an awareness of and healing those traumas has tremendous impact on our day-to-day life in a way that most kinds of trauma healing really don't get to.
I've had incredible benefits so far because I'm training to be a therapist in this work, and so this time around I'm learning on a much deeper level how to take this work, and I've had some really sticky situations that I've used this in this training already, and had to kind of go, oh my God, on the fly, yep, and I've learnt as a therapist how to handle things that in my practice, previously, I would have just been at a complete loss.
I started out with a certain amount of skepticism about the ability to move easily and freely into those states of awareness. But I found that it just naturally happened. It's like I didn't force it. I didn't try to make it happen. It just kind of naturally moved there, and I found myself there. And it became actually a marvelous experience. And I feel like it really healed some kind of deep trauma for me around loss and belonging.
The quality of my life has gone through the roof. The quality of my work has increased unbelievably. The results that I get from the sessions that I have with people, it's like two different people really. I'm a much nicer person. I get on much better with people. I'm not agitated and stressed all the time. And it's quiet in here. And so the silent mind process completely changed my life to the point that I just want to share it. I want to be able to give everybody that silence and the quality of life that comes with it, which has launched me on the therapist training path to be able to bring the silent mind process, eventually to be able to work with people with schizophrenia.
My personal state is underlying happiness. So whatever else is happening, however traumatised I feel, I actually feel very optimistic and happy about what's happening. And I think that's quite amazing that he can help people achieve that.
There's an enormous amount of material that they teach. It's intellectually stimulating, challenging, and there's a lot of opportunity for practice. So between sitting, listening, learning, asking questions, just coming up to speed on the conceptual part of it, and practicing it, both as client and as facilitator or therapist, they really keep you moving.
Most of us heal in a random way. Whatever our issue up at the moment, this is actually focused healing to achieve certain states of consciousness. And I think that's quite a gift.
Most therapists, when they come here, it changes their life and, just the quality of their work forever.
This is a new paradigm. If it is effective in being disseminated and understood, the whole world will change.